Hello YouTubers, today we're working on this 2008 BMW 535i. We're going to change out the high pressure fuel pump. These vehicles have two fuel pumps. They've got the one in the rear in the gas tank, and then they got this high pressure one up here in the engine bay under all this stuff, which we'll look at here in a little bit. What it's doing is the owner of the car, she says she's having trouble in the morning starting it. She has to try it like 10 times before it finally catches. And she already ordered the pump, and I'm not too crazy about it. It's used. And while we're at it, we're gonna go ahead and change the low pressure fuel pump sensor. She thought she was gonna get it new. I don't know what happened when she ordered it, but we're gonna go ahead and try it. We have it here. Let's go ahead and go for it. All right, let me start by disconnecting the battery. The battery's in the trunk on the passenger side. And what you have to do is lift on this where the spare's at. You might not have to. Anyway, and then there's usually they have a like a bolt, a screw here or something that holds this, but this one doesn't have it, so you just want to pick up down here. And this comes out. Here you go. And we're just gonna do the negative. Just disconnect it. That's it, you know, and put this where it won't accidentally hit while I'm up working on it. And if you want to take the whole battery off for some reason, you'll do the positive, and then you got two 13 millimeters holding this rod, and then a 10 millimeter, this bolt right here. It holds the battery down from moving around, and then you get the battery out. Okay, let's go up front. Okay, we're gonna start off by taking this air filter box off, this hose, and some more stuff down there. But we'll start off by unhooking these. They just pull it straight up. It's 3 hoses, and they hook up to this clamp here. All you do is pull them up. These are already kind of loose, so they'll come out real quick, but if not, you'll have to use some muscle. See, that's all it is. These rubbers are hooked up on this bracket. Then we're gonna loosen this clamp and this clamp right here. Now I'm just gonna use a screwdriver. I think they're 6 millimeters. And then of course we'll take this, okay, right there. This came off real quick. That's cool. Don't have to worry with that. We're done with that already. And it just hooks up to these little notches here. And of course, take this hose off. All you do is squeeze the sides, and it pops up. You have to use both hands. This one's missing one side, so yours will have. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Yours is gonna look different because this one's missing a lot of brackets back here that you're probably gonna have to remove. But if you can get away not removing them, good. If you have to, well, you're gonna have to. But this one's missing them, so it's gonna be a lot easier. Okay, back to this hose. Like I said, you're gonna squeeze both sides, and it's gonna open these clips. It's gonna open them like that, so you can unhook it. There we go. It's out. You're gonna wanna unsnap it from here. There, that hose is loose, and now we're gonna loosen these clamps, and we're gonna pull on this and pull it out. Okay, I already loosened these clamps. I just used a regular screwdriver. You see they're loose, and this one down here. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this tube out or whatever. It's hooked on here with the bolt, but this one doesn't have it, and then should just wiggle out. There, we're gonna get this out of the way. I'm gonna make more room for me. And let's see what else I need. Okay, this hose is always gonna be in your way. It's annoying. Just be careful, don't break it. Wedge it somewhere out of the way. Now we're gonna pull up on this. See if I can set the tripod down here. And it may be, if this is the first time you took it off, it may be on there pretty tight. You gotta get on the car and be careful, don't damage nothing, or a customer will be pissed at you. And yank on this as hard as you can. There we go. Like I said, make sure you unhook these or the thing won't come out. These, make sure you unhook them, or it'll be hard to get this bad boy out. See, it'll be holding by those 2 hoses. And here's that annoying hose that's always gonna be in your way. All right, now let's start doing some more stuff in here. Okay, that air filter box is held on by these little studs. You got 1, 2, 3, and they go into this little grommets or rubber little things. Now we're gonna go ahead and unhook these hoses. Oh, these are the 3 lines that I say are on there with the clip, and they were on, let's see, right here on these 1, 2, 3. So pop those bad boys out. Okay, now we're gonna do these hoses, and you want to turn this. Let's see if I can do it. You may need some pliers. See where I left my pliers. And you want to turn these to the open position so that hose will pop out. Right there, that's the open position. Same with this one. Let me get in there. See how that turns? That's the open position. That will allow these hoses to pop out. See? There we go. And I'm gonna undo this little vacuum hose here. It's kind of getting in my way. Throw it back there. I'm gonna even do it from down there. Okay, we might have to remove this pipe down here. I don't know, I'm gonna try to leave it, but if not, we'll have to remove it. Now we're gonna unhook this from the throttle body. This hose, just pull on this clamp up. You don't have to take it out, just like that. And then you wiggle that out. There it goes, out. Now I'm gonna start, we gotta take this cap off. It has 4 bolts, but like I said, this car's missing all kinds of stuff. It's just sitting on there, so that's another good thing for me. I don't have to mess with all kinds of stuff. Now we'll probably have to unhook these 2 clamps, which is, I think they're the O2 sensor connections. Just press on this tab, and out it comes. This one's missing the tab, so it should just pop out. Keep these out of the way. Let's get this line out of the way. All you do is press on this, and it pops out. Let's see what else we need out of the way. Because we're gonna start taking the intake manifold. There's 2 ways to do the fuel pump, and you can go on through here, which I've done. And it seems like it's less stuff you got to take off, but you're working in tight quarters, and then you got to look through one of these slots when you're taking that back bolt on the pump off. So you'd probably be better off taking this. You got more room, and you can see what you're doing. Okay. We need to unhook this one, and we're gonna have to take a pick, lift this tab up, and then pull this guy out. And let's see what happens here. Okay, let's take this clip off, and like I said, just take a pick and lift up on here. Be careful, because it is plastic and it will break. That's the thing about the BMW. Be careful when you're taking these clips off. It's got a lot of plastic and it will break. Got that unhooked. Just like right here. See, like this one's missing that one ear. I don't know why BMW did that. I mean, they used a lot of cheap plastic on here. Okay, now this hose that I unplugged from here that I told you I was gonna throw in the back, I'll go ahead and hook it back up, and I think I'll do it from here. There, I unplugged that. And now here, this line's connected to the throttle body. Again, just pinch it, and it should come off. So I'm in an awkward position here. Let me see if I can get it. Okay, let me use both hands real quick. Okay, I got this line loose. See, all it is like this one up here. You squeeze it, and it opens these 2 side clips, and it comes out of that connection right there. So it goes through the throttle body. See if I can get a view of it. I had a hard time, so what I did is I used 2 picks. I opened one side. I know it's hard to see. I'll just show you when I take it off. I just actually put a pick on each side of this right here and opened the ears, and then it popped out, but you might not have the trouble I had. Now we're ready to take off the intake, and it's an 11 millimeter, and the first one's a bolt. It's right up here, and it's a bolt. It's a long little bolt. Then the rest are just nuts. Little Always, helps if you have a magnet. Some of these are hitting in there. I don't know if you can see it hiding in there from us. And I use a magnet to get them out. That way you won't drop them. If you drop them, don't worry about it. I think when you get to taking the intake off, you'll be able to find everything down there. That's where all the good stuff's at. Oops, let me set this down. Okay, you've got 7 of these. One's a bolt and the other ones are little nuts, they're 11 millimeters. Okay, now you also might have, I just seen it here a little while ago. It's a wire that's just hooked up to the intake manifold. It's just a clip that you can undo. I'll try to show it to you when I turn this upside down. Okay, I think we got everything. Just make sure everything is clear. Put these hoses up, out of the way, up and out of the way. Okay. All right, let me set the camera down and see if we can get that intake out now. Go. I'm gonna go ahead and take it out all the way, but this is probably as far as you can go. Right there, you've got all the good stuff. Look, you've got the high pressure fuel pump, you got the starter, you've got the low pressure sensor. I don't know if that's the ground or a knock sensor. Here's another one. So all the good stuff is down here, man. If you're gonna take this off, here's the clip. It's hooked up to the throttle body. You should just be able to hit that. I'll use both hands. There's a little clip there, push it and it should pop out. Okay, I got it loose. It's got a clip right here. Where we at? Up here. Press on that, pull it out. And there's the hose to the throttle body that I told you earlier. You just squeeze that and it comes out and it hooks up right here. Okay, I think we can get it out of the way. Like I said, you don't need to take it off, but I went ahead and did it. So yeah, I can see exactly what's down here. And like I said, all the goodies are here. This will be hooked up to that intake. All you got to do is push it down when it's hooked up. See if I can show you where it's going to be hooked up. Right here. It's going to be like this. And it's going to hook up with these 2 rails right here. Down here. And all you got to do is pull it out. I really don't know how it came out. I was having hell. So I gave it all I had. Wham! And it came off. That way you can move it around and this intake will come out. If not, you're gonna have hell. You won't be able to get this out or move it too far. Okay, let's get this out of the way here. Put it somewhere safe where I won't step on it. Okay. Okay, we're down here ready to take the fuel pump out. If you want to, you can just unhook this from this clamp. It's your hot wire positive to the battery. Now you can move it around if you need to. And it takes a 17 millimeter, and you might want to have a rag because they'll probably squirt some gasoline. And I went ahead and I'll show you here in a little bit. Yeah, I forgot I need to get a rag. Disconnect this so it'll be out of the way and you can move some stuff. All it is the 2 clips on each side. You squeeze them and it pops out. See these 2 clips? Just squeeze them on each side. Now you can move this further. And you can disconnect this if you want to. That way that can get scooted further back. We're going to change that anyway. So let me go ahead and disconnect it again. It's one of them cheap plastic that you wedge pick or something and it pops out. And just be careful because those tabs will break. And that's, I believe it's 24 millimeter. That's a big sucker. See? Start loosening it up. And I don't know if this guy will squirt any gas. Dang, how long is this guy? Let's go ahead and loosen this bottom one. This sucker's on there. Let me get a rag because that one's starting to leak gas. Okay, I've got those fuel lines loose, and I went ahead and went with a 17mm stubby wrench. It's better to get in there. So I got that off. I had this down there because it did spill a little bit of gas. Okay, now the top one, same thing. Take it off. And here's another bolt. It's an 11mm. If I don't, right here on top of that fuel rail. Go ahead and take it off because you might need to have some play on this line to remove that. It just gives you a little bit of play because it's on there perfect fit like that, so give you a little bit of play there. And that's an 11mm. So we got that off and that off. And now for the bolts on the fuel pump itself, you can use one of these bits right here, and it's a number 5. And this one will come off quick. You can use the this method. Stick it in there and it'll come off real quick. If you can see, that's no problem. Now this one's kind of tricky. Might need to get you one of these. Every time I go to the store and I see a cute little ratchet, I buy it. And I bought this one, and it came handy for the BMW. I've used it on another BMW too. And you can get to this bottom one right here. It's just tricky how it's set up in there. Come on out, booger. Okay, that's it. It's loose. I know you can't see with my big old hand. There we go. And it was this little sucker that did the job. Now you take your bit again, you put it on here, and then you go through the back here, and you're gonna get to that bolt on the back there. That's why I say you need to kind of have some room to stick one of these bad boys in there. Okay, and for that third one behind the fuel pump, we're over here top side. Like I said, you're gonna have to go through the back, get that screwdriver thingamajig back there, and try to zoom in and see. You can see it through there, through the top. Should come on, come on. Sometimes these bad boys look like they're damn long, real long. Okay, and that should. I gotta take. Ooh. Hear that noise? Squirting gas. Well, it was this line. I guess I didn't have it completely off. Okay. Okay, I reposition myself. Okay, there. See that bolt? It's coming out. And I dropped it somewhere in there, but that's okay. And this is what you're going to be using. I don't know if it's called a hex or Allen bit, but it's a number 5. And we should be able to. There's that booger trying to get away. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Cover these ports up. I know that you're working down here, but sometimes like this, you know, I made it, dropped it, and I'm fumbling through it, and you know, you do that juggling act, and boom, your luck, it goes right in there, and then what are you gonna do, right? So I cover them just to be safe, on the safe side. Oh yeah, here we go. There's that bad boy. And here's the one we're gonna be putting on. I got all kinds of tools on it. Okay, real quick, when you put the new sensor, make sure you look and it has an O-ring. I almost put it on without it. They sell a box of a bunch of these O-rings at Harbor Freight, so you might find one that'll fit in there. I didn't have one, so I'm gonna reuse the one that was in the old one. It looks in good shape. but I would prefer to use a new one, but I don't have it. And when you put the fuel pump in there, it's got this weird looking shape on the front. When you put it in there, right here where it goes, it also in there, I can't get the camera on there, but in there it has a slot, and you just match up the slot with this. It'll turn if you need to turn it, but line it up, and everything should be fine and dandy. Let's see if we can line it up. There we go. It lined up. Make sure it's flush. If it doesn't line up, you won't be able to get it in. And see, here's that top fuel line that you barely have any play if you don't loosen it. Anyway, let me put that on and put the sensor on. Sorry, there's the sensor. That's what I'm trying to do, but I know I blocked you. Started by hand, and those fuel lines starting by hand too. Make sure they grab before you start using a wrench. You don't want to cross thread nothing. Those will be a pain in the butt. And now they do sell another line. This disconnects from back here, but they do sell an updated version. I don't know what's the difference, but I've seen where they do update it. Look, this one's missing that bolt. I guess it's supposed to hold the line there. Okay, the pump's on there. And put this connector for the fuel pump. There, you hear it snap. And where's that line for the, is this it? Yeah, I guess is this it, guys? Yeah, this was it, huh? Okay, thank you. Now I'm gonna hook this one up to the sensor. I don't have much light to show you guys, but it'll snap in there. I can't even see what I'm doing. So I know y'all can't see nothing either. There we go. Snap. There, it's on there. Put this line back there where it goes. And that's it. Okay guys, that's all I'm gonna record, because I need to get this car out. And I've got another car I need to go mess with. So just do the reverse. And again, thanks for watching, and I really appreciate you guys. Thanks again. Good luck.